Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? My name is Denanu and I'm the man with black privilege. And with this video here, we're going to be talking about Terminator Dark Fate. New trailer that just came out, I want to say on Friday, maybe Thursday. And I'm just getting around to making a commentary video talking about it. But being a black man that's huge into sci-fi, Terminator has been one of my favorite movie franchises for a really long time. Love the first one, love the second one, seen all the other ones. And it's something that's, being sci-fi is my favorite movie genre, I just love it. You know, love everything about it. Even the TV shows, each movie that people don't like, I usually find something about the movie that really intrigues me. But with this one here, I'm just not seeing a whole lot, to be honest. I'm seeing a cheaply made movie, or at least it looks cheap. I don't know if it is cheap. I don't know how much money this movie, costs to be made. But I'm seeing a lot of things that kind of hit my nostalgia buttons as far as like the older movies and stuff. And it feels like, at least to me, that Hollywood don't know what they're doing with the Terminator franchise. It seems like every time they come out with a movie, that movie doesn't make the amount of money that they wanted to make, so then they kind of reboot it or rehash it, they stir the pot, and then in 2 years they pull out another movie. And then, just like what happened with Genesis, it didn't make the money, that they wanted to again, so they stir the pot again, and then they remake the same thing. Or try something completely different and reboot the franchise again. It's like, they need to have a set plan, at the end of the day. Like, be like Marvel, plan your movies out. Don't just come up with a script and be like, oh, this movie made money, so we're making a sequel, and then a third movie, and then a fourth movie. Like, no, like, plan your shit out, If this, like with Genesis, I think was a good, I'm not gonna say it was a good movie. It was kind of all over the place. I have my, my qualms about that movie, or my nitpicks rather with that movie. But it was in a good place to kind of reboot things. They could have used that as the flashpoint event, to coin a comic book term, of your movieverse. Go back, rewrite history, and be like, oh, look, now that we've messed with the timeline is completely different, and we can pull stories from this new timeline that you don't know about because it's a brand new timeline. They can do that. Keep it moving forward. But I think with this one, I think they brought back James Cameron. I don't know if he's directing it or just producing it, but I know he did the first two movies. But now they're gonna go with like, okay, well, this movie just is a sequel to Terminator 2. Like, fuck all the other ones. You don't have to watch them. It's like, I hate when they do that, because then it doesn't show consistency. And even if the majority of your audience doesn't like, let's say, Terminator Salvation or Terminator Genesis or T3, just because they don't like it, be like, look, that's the universe you told to tell, so why not just keep it going? The only reason I could see them just jumping back and just changing a whole lot of stuff is because of plot holes. And I get that. No matter what you do, Hollywood is not going to take the time to make the writing 100% perfect. They're just not going to do that. So no matter what they do, they're going to have plot holes in it. They're going to have plot holes in the story. Certain things just won't line up if you're trying to force them to line up. But at least with this movie, like, if you'd have went back and said, okay, they changed the timeline and that changed how everything else after that point, then this could have been their fresh start movie to be like, okay, look, now we got a fresh start. Let's plan out 5 or 6 Terminator movies and kind of make like a new Terminator franchise that makes all the other movies look like crap. They could have did that, but they're not going to. And that's the one thing that bugs me about, Hollywood, is they look at the franchise and judge it by what came before, not what they can do with it. Like kind of like with superhero movies. Before Marvel came into Hollywood and everything, right? Everybody always saw superhero movies as, oh, good guy versus the bad guy, and that's pretty much about it, right? But you have different types of movies in that genre. Like, you got comedies, you got political thrillers, you got with the X-Men, you got racist movies of like humans being racist against mutants. You can have all of that with Terminator. It's just, instead of it being mutants, you have sentient machines, or artificial intelligence. Like, you can do a whole lot with that. Like, if you ever look at artificial intelligence, cyborgs, and machine life, essentially, look at the book genre about all of those. There's thousands and thousands of different things you can do with that in books that they can bring in and put into movies. I mean, granted, a lot of it's going to be wordy, right? But let's say they come out with a Terminator movie where instead of, let's say, Skynet, let's say, wiping out, humanity and taking over, have it take over in a different way. Let's say in part of this new timeline universe, Skynet makes machine life, sentient machines. So now it's making, let's say, not just endoskeleton robots that it uses as soldiers, but let's say it makes people, civilians, and they're machines. And then you have them creating like machine babies and stuff. And then you have them like looking at humans and be like, look, you guys are destroying the world. We're just trying to live, but in order to do that, we got to wipe you out. And then the humans are going to be like, well, this is our planet first, so we're going to wipe you out, and then it could be like a little Matrix thing going on, like which side is right. They're both right in their own kind of way. You can make different movies in this overarching genre about artificial intelligence. You can do that in Terminator and make it work. And then if you want to still have the sci-fi stuff of them going back in time to fix things or to, let's say, try to kill certain people, you can still do that and have those be like your action movies or your political thrillers or your sci-fi type movies, a part of that. Or how about this? Let's say make a movie about let's say people back in time or in modern times, or let's say semi-futuristic. You can't really say modern, but let's say semi-futuristic, 10, 20, 50 years in the future. They get tired of machines or Skynet sending people back in time and messing up with their timeline. So let's say you send somebody forward in time to go kill Skynet. You can do a whole lot more with the Terminator franchise if you just think outside the box. And that just kind of bugs me that they don't do that. It seems like every movie is just, oh, let's send somebody back in time, kill John Connor. And now it's with some random chick who I'm assuming they're going to explain in the movie why she's important. Because, I mean, it should be John Connor since he was the one guy who led the resistance. So the only thing I can think of is maybe this girl is also important in some kind of way. Maybe she's the one who raises future babies, or maybe she's the cook in the future. Who knows? Maybe she designs all of the tech for like the humans to use in the future against Skynet. I have no idea, but it's one thing that bugs me is because nobody was important enough to go, to try to kill except John Connor or Sarah Connor because she gave birth to him. So who is this one random girl? I'm hoping they explain that during the movie. Everything else I'm seeing with this trailer is a throwback to the first or second movie. I mean, I get it. It's cool, but it's like, it's been done before. Bringing back Linda Hamilton is great. I love seeing her in the movie, but that alone is not going to carry this movie or make me like the movie so much better than any of the previous ones, because I just feel like this movie isn't going to hit as hard as the other movies. I think it's going to probably hit harder than Terminator Genesis, but it's not going to hit as hard as, let's say, like T3, honestly. I know a lot of people didn't like Terminator Salvation, so I know it's not going to hit, it's going to definitely hit harder than that. But I know that's like the redheaded stepchild of the Terminator family. But it's just, I'm seeing a lot of things that don't look good. Like the CG isn't as good as I wanted it to be. They're bringing in Arnold, and I'm assuming he's going to be the template model for the all the Terminators. So I'm guessing they're going to explain that in this, because in T3 they kind of had that deleted scene where they kind of explain that, but that's not canon, so I don't know if that even matters anymore. So that's one thing about what I was saying before about consistency is, by them not having it, it's hard to judge like your future movies, because it's like, who knows what they're going to keep and what they're going to throw away. And I think this movie is going to invalidate all the sequels except like Terminator 2. So who knows what they're gonna throw in there. You know, it doesn't look like it's gonna be a bad movie. I just think it's gonna be an okay movie, and I'm hoping I'm wrong. But like I said before, it looks cheap. It looks cheaply made. The background looks cheap. Scenery looks cheap. The CG looks competent. I will say it's not great, but it's competent. I know that that liquid metal scene, you know, on the top of the truck looks pretty cool, but at the same time, when he jumped off, and you know, then it looked like shit. So I'm seeing a lot of callbacks and a lot of things that look cool, but it's nothing we haven't already seen before in the Terminator franchise, to be honest. We've already had liquid metal. We've already had the regular endoskeleton. We already had, you know, a lot of the different things. Like, I mean, I guess even if you count Human Chick, I guess she's new. I mean, if she's going to be human or a cyborg or something. But then you kind of had hints of that with Salvation with the main character from that. I forget what his name is. But he was a Terminator who, you know, thought he was human. So that kind of played into like, okay, well, you didn't know if he was a cyborg or if he was a straight up Terminator until the end of the movie. But it's like you had a lot of those same beats hit, especially with Genesis coming out like a couple years ago, because that was a throwback to all the whole franchise. So I don't see why they're just doing the same things. Come up with a different Terminator model, like something you can actually do. Like something that always bugs me about every one of these Terminator movies is, why do the Terminators always lose? I mean, I get it, it's a movie, you know, but at the same time, it's like they should not lose. If you have a machine and everything about them is analytical, is better than people. If you put a gun in a Terminator's hand, he should not miss shots. It should be like, oh, I have aimbot on it. Every shot that I'm shooting hits. You shouldn't have to build liquid skin Terminators to walk up on somebody and stab them to kill them. Like, you know, just put a gun, a regular pistol in a Terminator's hand and put them in range to shoot John Connor or somebody, and they should be shot. Because there is nothing that the human can do to dodge the bullet that the Terminator is going to send in their ass when they pull the trigger. And giving the intelligence and the precision of a machine, they should be able to predict where they're going to dodge to and shoot to always hit. That's just, a gimmick. And then if you give them the ability to be like, okay, let me program some martial arts into them. It should be like the Matrix. It should be like Agent Smith. Be like, look, now I know all of these martial arts, so now I'm gonna out kung fu anybody who likes to mess with me. That's just how it is. That's how prolific a machine can be. So why do they just always send back like, oh, I'm just gonna send these Terminators back in time to fist fight somebody or to try to kill them by like shooting them but missing, and it's just like, it shouldn't be a fight. I mean, even if you put a Terminator in front of, let's say, like a human with an assault rifle, right? If the Terminator is able to move just like a human, then they should be able to read your arm position of you holding that assault rifle, see where the path of the bullet is going to go, and dodge bullets, just like Agent Smith in the Matrix. They should technically be able to do that if their body can perform those movements. So it's like they shouldn't lose. They should be like the agents in the Matrix, where it's like, if you see one, just run, because you're not beating them. But that's just something that bugs me. But then I guess if you made a movie like that, then it wouldn't be a movie. They would just go back in time. John Connor would be dead, and there you go. That would be the end of the movie within 5 minutes. So it's like, I get it, but it's just something that bugs me. They could show that a little bit better. Like, explain why the Terminators don't just have that ability. Bullshit a reason in there, I don't know, something, but just explain why they can't just do that. Or just, send a Terminator back in time. Let's say they know, let's say take the new girl from the trailer. Let's say she's in New Mexico or something like that. Or let's say she's in like New Mexico or wherever they're at that border control station, right? Let's say send a Terminator back in time, not to just go back and kill her, but let's say, all right, if she's going to be in New Mexico, let's just send a Terminator back in time to like a nearby power plant, a nuclear power plant, and make it go nuclear. That way, make that destroy the town. She's gonna die from that. I mean, it's a bit overkill, but you know, at the end of the day, she's still dead. That's what I'm trying to say. Just, you know, do something like that, and that's gonna kill her, and then let that be that. But I don't know. It's just it's. I guess they always write these movies and make it seem like humans can be better than machines, but really, unless it's something mental or like emotional, we're not. So, you know, we're not better than machines. And every facet of that is outside of being like I said, mental or emotional. Yeah, we could have more heart than a machine could, but then if the machine was just as self-aware as we were, then that's a muddy line, because what differentiates them from us, you know? But I don't know. To get back on track with the movie here, nothing about the movie's really just piquing my interest. It's not making me like go, wow, I gotta see this movie, you know? It's like I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, okay, like we may get a lot of long drug out scenes. That's what I'm trying to say. Because it looks, like I said, cheaply made, and usually when they do that, the scenes get extended for longer periods of time. I'm not seeing a lot of different backgrounds in the trailer either, so it's like the bridge scene, the hotel, the drive to the forest, and then the forest, and then probably where they meet Arnold Schwarzenegger. So it's gonna be one of those things where it's like, is that gonna be like the whole movie? That and that border patrol station? Because I think that's what it is. It feels like a smaller movie than what it actually is. And maybe that's because of budget restrictions, I don't know. Because the CG doesn't look all that good either, so maybe that plays into the budget, or maybe they just don't have the CG finished yet either. Because I think the movie's gonna probably come out, like latter part of this year or maybe early next year. So I'm guessing the CG is gonna be, you know, finished by then. Maybe they haven't, you know, given everything that coat of polish that it should need, but so far it's like I'm gonna see the movie regardless, and I'm probably gonna make a review video talking about it, but it's just one of those things where I'm just not overly hyped for it, because I'm assuming probably in another 2 years they're just gonna do something else and we're gonna get another shitty Terminator movie. And let me touch on this here too before we end the commentary. A lot of people are talking about like a lot of the SJW bullshit. Is that a part of this movie? And I'm one of those people where it's like, I don't mind it. Judging from what I'm seeing in the trailer, I don't like a lot of that I don't like a lot of that SJW stuff to begin with. But I'm one of those people where it's like, unless you throw it in my face, it doesn't matter all that much. And from what I'm seeing with this here, unless things are going to be different when the actual movie comes out, this doesn't look like it's in my face. You know, this doesn't look like they're just kind of making it a female-led movie. You know, this just feels like they're just having a female main character, and instead of it being John Connor, it's just some other lady. You know, that's just the vibe I'm getting. And you bringing back Linda Hamilton, I can't call that SJW because, you know, it's fucking Linda Hamilton. I mean, she fucking started the shit. So it's, you know, if let's say like you had a female lead character and then you had like the Terminatrix from T3 come back, it's like, you know, as like the Terminator in the movie, it's like, okay, come on, like, you know. But that's just not the vibe I'm getting out of this. This just, you know, seems like they're just doing like a main character and that's a female, and that's just, you know, part of the movie. You know, this is the way they should do it. It feels more organically if they do it this way. Now, maybe when the movie comes out, if it has that SJW feel to it, I don't know, you know, then I'm definitely gonna rant about it and talk shit about it. You know, it can't be any worse than that Batwoman shit, because that was all over the place. So hopefully we don't get none of that in this movie, but who knows? I mean, we won't know until the movie comes out. But anyways, fellas, that's just been my opinion on the Terminator Dark Fate trailer here, and sorry for rambling, but I had to get some things out as far as Terminator, because it's like things that always bug me about every movie, right? And I just never really got a chance to talk about it until now. So I'm probably gonna make another video talking about this if we get another trailer, maybe if we see something new. I know I'm definitely gonna make another one once the movie comes out. I definitely got to do a review talking about it. But outside of that, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and thank you for watching. Peace out.